Hi all, my name is Ricardo Coke. I wanted to talk with you about how to get true wisdom. Basically, obviously, first and foremost, wisdom comes from God, but God distributes it however He likes, and also however how much people are willing to grasp this wisdom from God, to be able to really grasp it and hold on to it tight. Basically, so to be able to get wisdom, I think I can only base this on myself, because you're you have to be I think sometimes it's good to think a lot, and sometimes it's not so good to think a lot. Sometimes it's good to think through things, and think, and always be thinking, and so that when you're always thinking about things and meditating on things, you can always come up with you can always come up with new ideas. And don't ever worry about about God's wisdom. Don't ever worry about God's wisdom running out, or or maybe you could say your wisdom running out, or you so yeah. It's also a good thing to what well I'm going to be reading out some about 34 Bible verses about wisdom. So what was it? Hmm. So it's always a good thing to question things, question everything, but in the right way. Also, you can question Christianity and the Bible, but only with a word of warning. Just question it in a righteous way. Don't let the devil jump in and let you question it in the wrong way, because Christians can do that. Question the Bible with the wrong motives. So so when you gr- when you grow as a Christian, your wisdom will grow as well, and you become you and also you have to be. I think wisdom also, when you're out and about, you have to be able to be aware of your surroundings, be open in your surroundings, be aware of what's going on around you when it comes to wisdom, and just being 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 just not in one track mind, and be fully open in your mind and heart. And yeah, also I think you have to be. I think I've said, don't be one track minded, be open minded, be positive. That's another form of wisdom, just being positive and not negative. Because when you become negative and critical on one subject, on one thing, you lose the sight of it. Or you Because when you're critical on one thing, you lose the sight of it, and if you don't investigate it further, then you won't know much about it. And if you become late and if you become lazy as well, become lazy about it, then you won't know a lot as well. You and you have to be able to constant. You also you have to concentrate on what you're doing, and not not be easily distracted and not lose focus. Yeah, and also try not to be confused as well, because confusion is of the devil. It's also good to meditate on things, meditate on God's word, meditate in general on what you're thinking, and don't have too many distractions like television, you know, too much entertainment. And it's always good to go away somewhere and think quietly on your own, completely on your own. Don't bring any music with you, or don't bring any music with you when you're about to think about something important. Don't bring any music with you. Just go away quietly on your own. Just travel somewhere, maybe short distance or long distance, just to think about things. Because when we have things and entertainment around us, we just on one track mind. We don't we don't we don't we're more focused on the entertainment rather than what's going on around us currently in our daily lives, and what we should do with ourselves. So yeah, so let me read out the Bible verses, 34 of them. I'll try and see if I can read 34. I'm sure I will anyway. So you got Proverbs 2 to 6, NIV translation. For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth come knowledge and understanding. Ephesians 5:15 to 16, NIV translation. We are very careful then how you live, not as unwise but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. James 1 verse 5, NIV translation. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. So you have to believe that as well. And it says also, James 3 verse 17, NIV translation. But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace, loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere. Okay. Ecclesiastes 7 verse 10, NIV translation. Do not say, why were the old days better than these? For it is not wise to ask such questions. Proverbs 13 verse 10, NIV translation. Where there is strife, there is pride, but wisdom is found in those who take but wisdom is found in those who take advice. Proverbs 16:16, NIV. How much better to get wisdom than gold, to get insight rather than silver. James 3 verse 13, NIV translation. Who is wise and understanding among you? Let them show it by their good life, by deeds, done in the humility that comes from wisdom. Just taking the time. Colossians 4 verse 5 to 6 NIV. Be wise in the way you act toward outsiders. Make the most of every opportunity. Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. 1 Corinthians 3 verse 18 NIV. Do not deceive yourselves. If any of you think you are wise by the standards of this age, you should become fools, so that you may become wise. Proverbs 19 verse 8. The one who gets wisdom loves life. The one who cherishes understanding will soon prosper. Let me read that again. I'll read this one again actually. The one who gets wisdom loves life. The one who cherishes understanding will soon prosper. And that's Proverbs 19 verse 8. NIV translation. Proverbs 11 verse 2. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Proverbs verse 13 verse 3. Proverbs chapter 13 verse 3. Those who guard their lips preserve their lives, but those who speak but those who speak but those who speak rashly will come to ruin. And that's Proverbs verse 13. No, Proverbs chapter 13 verse 3 NIV translation. Psalms 90 verse 12 NIV translation. Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Proverbs 18 verse 2. Fools find no pleasure in understanding, but delight in airing their own opinions. Proverbs 8 verse 35 NIV translation. For those who find me find life and receive favor from the Lord. And that's Proverbs 8 verse 35 NIV translation. Isaiah 55 verse 8 NIV. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. And that's Isaiah 55 verse 8 NIV translation. Isaiah 40 verse 28 NIV. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. Sorry, read that last bit again. and his understanding no one can fathom. So that's Isaiah 40 verse 28 NIV translation. Matthew 7:24 NIV translation. Therefore everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Proverbs 14 verse 29 NIV translation. Whoever is patient has great understanding, but one who is quick-tempered displays folly. Isaiah 28 verse 29 NIV translation. All this also comes from the Lord Almighty, whose plan is wonderful, whose wisdom is magnificent. Isaiah 28 verse 29 NIV translation. Proverbs 10 verse 8 NIV translation. The wise in heart accept commands, but a chattering fool comes to ruin. Daniel 2 verse 28 NIV. I thank and praise you, God of my ancestors. You have given me wisdom and power. You have made known to me what we asked of you. You have made known to us the dream of the king. You have made known to us the dream of the king. Proverbs 17 verse 18. Proverbs 17 verse 28 NIV. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. Proverbs 15 verse 33 NIV translation. Wisdom's instruction is to fear the Lord, and humility comes before honor. So I'll say that again. Wisdom's instruction is to fear the Lord, and humility comes before honor. Wow, that's powerful. And that's the last one. Well, there's another page, but I think you've got enough. So that website is called, where I got it from is dailyverses.net/wisdom. No worries. So that's all I have to say. And as you probably heard what I've said and read out, wisdom comes from God, and I think I have said that before earlier on. So God bless, take care, peace be with you. Shall we?